Hello and welcome back to Writing for Business. In this session, we're going to be covering key phrases that you can use for emails of apology. Now, in business or in professional situations, it's very likely that at some point you'll need to apologize, either for something you are personally responsible for or on behalf of a company you represent. Apologies are important because if someone isn't happy with you or even angry with you or a company you represent, an apology may be the only thing that can save the situation. To apologize well, you not only have to say that you're sorry, but explain what happened and what you're going to do to correct the problem or make sure that it doesn't happen again. When you do this, it's very important to be able to use the correct type of vocabulary and phrases. In this session, we're going to cover some useful phrases that you can use if you ever have to apologize in a professional situation. Now, one of the best ways to learn these phrases is to see them used in a good example of an email of apology. Here, we're going to work out why they're written and what they mean. So let's start by reading an example of an email of apology. Here's an example of how to write an email of apology. It begins with the formal greeting, "Dear Mr. Howard." Now, this is used because when you're writing an email of apology, it's important not to be too familiar or too friendly. Instead, keep the tone polite and use a formal form of address. After that, the writer acknowledges the complaint he received from the customer by saying, "Thank you for your email of 23rd February. Now, even if the complaint was not written in the most polite manner, it is important to both acknowledge and thank the reader for their initial email or letter. After that, the writer apologizes for the mistake made by the company. In this case, they use the very formal phrase, "Please allow me to apologize." And this is one of the most formal ways to make an apology, and it shows the reader that you take their complaint seriously right from the start. After that, the writer accepts the complaint and takes responsibility on behalf of the company he represents by saying, "We agree that the usual high standards of our product or services were not met in this instance." And he goes on to explain the reasons for the error. Now, the next thing the writer does here is to give the reader a clear solution to their complaint. In this case, it's sending out replacement hard drives as a matter of priority. He then concludes the email with a sentence aimed at retaining some goodwill and shows his company's interest in working together with the customer in the future. Finally, the email close is written formally, the same level of formality as the opening. So here, kind regards is used. Now, most people won't think too much about the email signature that they use, but following a complaint, it's important not to risk upsetting the client further. Using warm regards, for example, is not something I recommend, as it could appear too familiar or friendly for an email of apology. The writer also signs off with their full name and job title, rather than shortening the signature to just a first name, which again is too familiar for a formal email like an apology. Now we're going to look at a series of phrases commonly used in emails of apology. See if you can match the phrases with their correct functions.
Let's check the answers and see how you did.
Now we're going to look at some other professional phrases for apologizing that can be used in each of these categories. Now, when you're acknowledging a complaint, here are some phrases you can use. Thank you for your email of 3rd July regarding your upcoming event. I refer to your letter of 5th May about your returns policy. Now, when you're apologizing for an error or fault, here are some phrases that you can use. We must apologize for the error made by our company. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Please accept our apologies for the delivery issues. I would like to apologize for the error made by our company in sending your order. Please allow me to apologize for the delayed reply. Now, when you're accepting a complaint, here's a phrase that you can use. We agree that the usual high standards of our products were not met in this instance. After that, you can explain the problem, and here are some phrases that you can use to introduce that. As a result of our investigation, we found that the items sent to you were faulty. The mistake was caused by an error on our system. Apparently, the problem was the result of a system malfunction. The cause of the mistake was a fault with our internal server. As a result, we were not able to deliver your goods on time. This led to the delay. Consequently, we could not fulfill your order on time. We have changed our returns policy. We have implemented a system to ensure that our service improves. To prevent reoccurrences, we have set up a verification procedure. When you're apologizing, you may wish to give assurances that things will improve in the future. Here are some phrases that you can use. We assure you that this will not happen again. We've already taken all the necessary measures to ensure that our service will improve in the future. Now, there are some times when you're writing an email of apology that you may not be able to give an immediate solution. You may need to investigate the problem a little bit further. Here are some phrases you can use to reply without giving an immediate solution. We are currently investigating the cause of the fault. We will investigate the cause of this error. I have taken personal charge of the situation. Now, when you're giving a solution, you can use one of these phrases. As a gesture of our regret, we would like to provide you with 1 month of free service. To show goodwill, we will refund the delivery fees. We have dispatched the new items by express courier. They should arrive by Thursday, the 4th of April. To show goodwill, we would like to offer you a 5% discount on your next order with us. When you receive a complaint and you wish to express your regret at the customer's dissatisfaction, you can use one of these phrases. We understand your frustration. We understand how disappointing it can be when your expectations are not met. There could also be times when you receive a complaint and you're not able to take responsibility for the mistake. In this case, you can use one of the following phrases. I regret to inform you that we are unable to accept liability for the fault. I am afraid that these products are excluded from our warranty. Unfortunately, I must point out that the damage was caused by user error. If a third party or another person or an organization is responsible or to blame, you can direct the complaint to that person. We therefore suggest that you contact the manufacturer. Now, when you're writing a rejection, you may need to give a reason for that rejection. You can use one of these phrases. This is due to the fact the guarantee period has expired. This is because the damage was down to user error. Receiving an email or a letter of complaint does not mean that that's necessarily the end of the business relationship with the party who's complaining. A well-written email or letter of apology can go a long way towards building the relationship again. Here are some phrases that you can use to retain some goodwill with your client. We look forward to receiving your further orders and assure you that they will be filled correctly or promptly.
Now it's time for your end of lesson test. See what you can remember from the lesson.
How do you acknowledge receiving a letter of complaint? Now accept a complaint. How do you investigate a complaint? How do you reject a complaint? How do you apologize for an error or fault? Now give assurances that things will improve in the future. What can you say to retain goodwill?
Excellent!
Now that we've completed the session, you can use lots of new phrases when you need to write your next email of apology in a professional situation. See you again next time, back for the next session of Writing for Business.